Let's all settle into our sits bones, into our mats, into our hips. It's amazing how just bringing awareness to the hips, if you're anything like me, you actually feel the shift in your body and feel the settling, that sensation of arriving more fully, welcoming the whole of the awareness, the whole of the being who each of us is, to come and get present, feeling it in the body, in the hips, the legs, feeling the shoulders as they relax towards the earth, the jaw, the tongue. And if you close your eyes or lower your eyelids, you can really come inside your own being, inside your body, into the vast inner world that awaits you. Taking a few moments to connect with that inner world. We might also connect with our breath. Feeling the sweet, soft breath as it moves in and out. Slowing it down with intention. Coming into the parasympathetic response. Rest, restore, ease. And it's in this state of ease that we come into our yoga practice. The blend of effort and ease. That unification that is yoga, union. Staying with the breath, bring awareness to your tailbone. Visualizing it as a root sinking deeply into the earth, rooting us there. And then visualize that root bringing vital nutrients all the way up through the tailbone and all along the spinal column. Nutrients in the form of light and energy that lifts us up, lengthening all the way up through the crown of the head, reaching out towards the energy of the sky. Stay with your breath. Lift your heart. And breathe. And from this inner world, see if there's some guidance that might serve for this practice this morning. And the practice of metta now, loving kindness practice. Let's practice for all beings this morning. May all beings be patient and peaceful. May all beings be grateful and kind. all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings be patient and peaceful. May all beings be grateful and kind. May all beings live with ease and grace. May all beings be patient and peaceful. May all beings have much to be grateful for and be kind. May all beings live with ease and grace. This is the energy that we generate, though these words may not suit all beings in this moment. We energize and bring vitality to the vision with the intention, the prayer, the wish, the hope for these words to actually be manifest on our planet. And let's bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra. We'll chant Om, Om this morning. Take a couple of cleansing breaths first. A deep breath in and let it go. Another full breath in and let that go too. And then an inhale and we'll begin. Om. And releasing hands to legs wherever they feel best. Allow your eyelids to lift. Stay long and tall through your spine. Hug the shoulder blades just a little bit more towards one another on your back body. Lift your heart and take your arms out to either sides. Lengthen through the fingertips and turn the thumbs back towards the wall behind you. Take a deep breath in and lift your arms up. Reach out through those fingertips. Touch them overhead and then exhale, press them down. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Then inhale, press up. Lift the heart, greet the weak. Exhale, press down. Draw those shoulder blades together like you're squeezing them towards one another. Inhale, press them up. And let's switch it up, exhaling, bending the arms, pinkies forward, thumbs back. Inhale, lift. Let's do that again. Exhale, press down. Open wide through the front body, then inhale, lift. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Press the hands together, open through the front body. Come around and inhale, lift. Lengthen through the side bodies. Exhale, press down, shoulder blades hug again. And again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, this time palms forward, press down. Inhale, press up. One more time, exhale, palms forward, press down. Inhale, lift Fingertips overhead. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Lovely. Let's stretch out the neck. Starting with the arms to either side, take a breath in and lift your right arm up and over. Find your ear and just let the weight of your hand be sufficient. No pressing, just resting the hand and the arm. Reach out through those left fingertips. Allow the shoulders to drift away from the ears with intention to let it go. Good. And then on an inhalation, drag your hand or slide, glide, however, over to your ear and then press your head up. Good. And then pressing in isometrically, take your elbow out to the side. You can release your left hand, let it rest. Press in. Relax your jaw and your shoulders again. Couple breaths here. And on your next inhalation, release. Let it float down. Take a breath to reset. Draw the belly in and take your arms out to either side. And on an inhale, reach up and over, fingertips to the ear. And again, just the weight of the arm and the hand. Reaching out through the right fingertips. Notice your shoulders. Subtle shrugging through the shoulders might be present. Let it go best you can. Couple more breaths right here. Relaxing your face and your jaw. And on your next inhalation, draw that hand over to your ear and press in. Elbow out to the side. Good. Breathe. You can relax this arm. Relax the shoulders. They may want to participate. Couple more breaths here. I'm doing it a little more awkwardly than I'd like. And release. Then intertwine your fingers. Take them up and over behind your head, right to that bulge of your cranium. Taking the elbows out to either side, press in and back, isometric press. Igniting the muscles around the arms, upper arms, shoulders, upper back. Stay broad through the collarbones and then release. Let your arms float down. Good. And then taking your right arm out and around, hug it in. Take a few moments to really allow the deltoid muscle, this upper shoulder, upper arm muscle to lengthen and release. And if you like, you can massage along your arm with your hand. It's a little awkward here, but you know how to do it. Maybe send some of that energy out the end of your fingers, let it go, and release. Take your other arm out and across. Good. Hug it in. Breathe. Let that tension, tightness, anything that might be stored there, release. And then you can sweep it out. And then shake it out if it feels good. And let your hands rest on your knees. Lift your heart, take a breath in, and we'll take a twist. Take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Wrap that right shoulder blade around And turn, if it feels good in your body, to look over that back shoulder. Again, notice where your shoulders are and do your best to release them. On your inhalations, lengthen your spine. On your exhalations, deepen in, draw the belly in. Use your core here. Inhale, grow the spine long. Exhale, draw the belly in. And if it feels good in your practice, turn to look over your other shoulder. Soften the jaw, lengthen through the neck. Good. On your next breath in, turn back to center. And on your next inhalation, grow the spine long and return your whole body back to center, your whole torso. And we'll take it to the other side, taking a breath in to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, twist to the right, or the left, excuse me. Turn to look over the back shoulder as you wrap that shoulder blade onto your back. Soften your jaw. Soften your face, your eyes, your shoulders. With each inhalation, lengthen all the way out the crown of your head. And on each exhalation, deepen in. Inhaling and exhaling. Deep breaths in, long breaths out. On your next inhalation, turn slowly, if it feels accessible, to look over your your right shoulder. Stay with your breath and keep your neck long and your jaw soft. Deep breaths in, long breaths out, and on your next breath in, turn your head back to center. One more breath cycle right here. And on the next inhalation, turn all the torso back to center. Take a couple of breaths. And let's take a side bend. Take a breath in to lengthen. Take your arms out to either side. Reach your right arm up and over and then come into that side bend. Do your best to keep your heart forward, ground down through both hips, especially the right, which wants to lift up perhaps. Reach out through those fingertips. Welcome the breath into the armpit and all the way down the side body. Send it out the hip. Take a breath in, ground down through the sits bones and rise up. Lengthen the spine and then taking both arms out to the side, draw the belly in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, side bend over to the right. Ground down through your left side sits bone, Reach out through the upper arm, upper fingertips. Feel those fibers release along the side body, all the way down into the hip. And on your next inhalation, as you ground through your hips, lift back up. Let's shrug the shoulders, deep round circles with the shoulders, nice and slow. Feeling the mobility in your own body. And go the other way as well. And then come to a still point, and let's come down onto the mat in child's pose. Bring the big toes together, knees hip width distance apart. If it's available for you to sit up tall, sit back on your heels and sit up nice and tall, please do for a moment. Lengthen the spine, draw the belly in. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, draw the inner groins and the belly in and back. And then walk your hands as you lengthen your spine over the thighs, over the earth. Take it slow. Breathe into the back body. Close your eyes and feel the inner body. Feel, sense, notice your inner world as you move in union with your own energy, your own inner energy, your subtle body energy. Breathing here in child's pose, feel into the back body, into the space of the sacrum, into the space of the kidneys, and into the space behind the heart. Take a couple more breaths here before we walk the hands to the right. Couple breaths more. And then walk your hands to the right on your next inhalation. Lift your hips for just a moment. Stretch out through the left side body. Deep breaths in and out. And on your next inhalation, bring your hands back to center. Lengthen for one breath cycle. And then inhaling, take your hands over to the left, lifting your hips for a moment, just to increase that stretch. Breathing slowly and deeply in and out. Feeling the stretch all along the ribs, the waist, the lower back, the upper back, the hip. And on your next inhalation, come back to center. A couple more breaths here. And then please bring your hands right under your shoulders with fingers spread wide. Come back up, draw your belly in, lengthen the spine, and walk your hands into table pose. Once in table pose, turn your toes under. Bring your wrists right under your shoulders. And if you have issues in your wrists, you might walk them out just a little further to decrease the bend in your wrists. Or you can come onto your fists too, if you have issues in your wrists. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back and we'll take some cat-cows. Let your heart sink down in between the shoulder blades towards the earth. Draw your belly in. And on an inhalation, tilt your tailbone up. Reach long through the crown of your head. As you exhale, draw the belly in. Press the tops of your feet into the earth. Press the earth away with your hands. And then slowly go the other direction. Take it with your own breath cycle. Don't have to be in my breath cycle. Find your breath cycle. Move slowly, intentionally. With each breath, articulating the spine, opening through the collarbones. Engaging in the core. Engaging with the breath as the body moves through the flexion and the extension of the spine. And after your next full cycle of cat-cow, meet me in table pose. Let's take the knees out wide this time. Bring the big toes together and we'll take child's pose, this time just pressing the fingertips into the mat, lifting the palms up off the mat, and hugging the muscles to the bones in the arms. With an outer rotation at the head of the arm bones. Let your face relax and fall towards the earth. Draw the inner groins in. Listen to your body. And then please bring your hands under your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide and press up. Lift your knees back to hip width distance and come back to table pose with your blocks. Let's bring the blocks. And then taking a little longer stance, bringing your fingers, your hands, plant them a little longer in table, turn your toes under, and we'll press up into downward facing dog. Lift your hips high and pedal out your legs. Pressing each heel into the mat. Feel your calves. Feel your hamstrings. Lift your hips high and send them back behind you. Lengthen through the ribs, the side bodies. And then come on up to your toes. And as you exhale, send the heels towards the earth. Draw the belly in. And then bending your knees, look to the front of the mat and step up. Once you've reached Uttanasana, find either your shins or the mat or your blocks, whatever feels best. Take a couple of breaths here, grounding into all four corners of both feet, feeling the hamstrings, lifting the hips towards the sky above the ankles. And then place your hands on your hips. Grow the spine long and bring it parallel to the earth. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another on the back, and with your next breath in, firm the muscles to the bones in your legs and come on up. Take your hands to either side. Tadasana. Feel your body. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel what's going on in your body in this moment. Feel the soles of your feet planted on your mat. The strength of your legs. Feel your core body from the big toe pads all the way up through your inner thighs, your belly, all the way up through the crown of your head, right over your eyebrows. Draw your ears back towards the wall behind you as you lift your heart. Couple more breaths here, grounding into the feet, lifting out through the crown of the head. And then on a breath in, bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Take a couple of breath cycles here. Lift your toes, feel the big toe pad and each of the quarters of your feet. Then lower your toes to the mat, and on your next inhalation, press your hands together. Draw up even a little taller as you inhale, and then exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep your fingertips up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, come forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow in. Inhale, head lift, long spine. Exhale, bow. Again, inhale, lengthen, draw the belly in. Inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones as you exhale, bow into the legs. Inhaling, grow the spine long. Exhaling, inner rotate the head of the thigh bones and bow to the legs. Then place your hands on your hips, and on your next breath in, lift all the way up. Take your arms out to the side, and on an inhalation, sweep them up to the sky and find your right wrist with your left hand. Firmly pressing into all four corners of both feet. Press even more into the right foot as you lengthen through the right palm. Inhale and exhale into a side bend, crescent over to the side. Keep pressing into that right foot, even sending your hips a little to the right. Good. And then inhale, press into your left foot, come back up. Switch hands. Inhale again, pressing out through the palm and in through the left foot. Exhale, come into your side crescent, side bend. Stretch. And on your next inhalation, press into your right foot to come up. Lengthen the fingertips towards the sky, lift your heart, gaze towards the sky just a bit, and then exhale, Anjali Mudra. Let's add on, inhale, press hands with long spine. Exhale, release, open the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up, the fingertips touch overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen and come halfway up. Exhale, hinge and bow to the legs. Adding on, inhale and bend your knees. Frame your feet with your blocks, and as you exhale, the right leg comes back. On your next inhalation, lower your knee and point your foot. Next breath in, lift up, Anjaneyasana. Bring your hands to your knee if it feels good in your body. Press into all four corners of the front foot and lift your heart just a bit more. Stay right here or take your hands out to the side. And on your next breath in, option to lift your fingertips up. Inhale, reach through the fingertips and open up through the heart. Send your tailbone towards the earth. Another breath in, feel your full front body stretch. Inhale, exhale, lower your hands, find your blocks. Good. Pressing into all four corners of the front foot, turn your back toes under and come on up into runner's lunge. Let's take a twist. You can bring a block in or bring your fingertips to the mat, your choice. Take your hand to your hip. Keep your hips aligned as you draw that left shoulder blade around and back, revolving the ribs around the axis of the spine. Long neck, long legs, long back leg. Inhale, exhale. Bring your hands back to the blocks or the mat. Take a breath here. And then bending the back knee, step up, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, send the left leg back. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, send your knee towards the earth and point your foot behind you, or bring the top of your foot back behind you, your knee. Once you've established yourself here, find your knee with your hands. And breathe here, lifting just a little bit higher. If it feels good and appropriate in your practice, take your hands out to your sides. Keep hugging the legs towards one another. An option to inhale and lift the arms up to the sky. Touch the fingertips overhead and lift through the heart. Send your tailbone towards the earth and breathe. And on your next inhalation, lengthen just a bit more. And as you exhale, lower your hands to your blocks. Beautiful. Turn your back toes under. Press up into runner's lunge. And press out through that back heel. And then let's practice the twist on this side. I'll just watch you this time. Bringing your right hand to your hip, twist and bring your heart around. Good. Couple breaths here. Wrap that right shoulder blade onto your back body and revolve your ribs around your spine. One more breath right there, and then find your way back to either the blocks or your mat. And then bending your back knee, step up, Uttanasana. Couple breaths here. Take your hands behind you. Keep firming the muscles to the bones in your legs, and we'll intertwine your fingers. Send your elbows out to either side and broaden through the collarbones. Draw your belly in. Take a breath in and extend the arms up to the sky. Wrap the shoulder blades onto your back body. Feel the soles of your feet planted on the earth. Hug the muscles to the bones in your legs. And on your next inhalation, jackknife up. Lengthen the spine and send the tailbone towards the earth. Grow long through the crown of the head. Press the backs of your hands towards the earth. Breathe into the front body, into the heart, pectorals, collarbones. Take a breath in, and on the exhalation, release your hands and feel them float up to the sky. Fingertips touch overhead, and then exhale, Anjali Mudra. Good. Take a couple of breaths right here again. Maybe closing your eyes and just feeling the inner body. Feeling the subtle percolation of energy in your body. We exist on so many different levels, not only physical. We are energy. Let's practice chair pose. We can keep our hands right here in Anjali Mudra, but take a peek at your feet. Make sure they're just under your hip sockets. Draw your belly in and lengthen the spine. Activate the legs, activate the core. Inhale. And as you exhale, lower your hips towards the earth. Keep the spine long, the gaze towards the earth. Press the hands together and open the heart. Sit down in your chair. And on the next breath in, press yourself up. Good. Let's take it again. Inhale, lengthen and grow long. And as you exhale, send the knees forward like two headlights, sitting down deeply into the chair. Hug the muscles to the bones in the legs. Send the tailbone towards the earth. Draw the belly in. And if it feels good in your body, you can reach the arms back and then lift them up overhead. Draw the belly in. Activate the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Press up. Fingertips rise up above. Shoulder blades down the back. Exhale. Anjali Mudra. Let's practice that one more time. With hands in Anjali Mudra, take a breath in, lifting the heart and lengthening the spine. Draw the belly in as you exhale. Send the knees forward, hips back, tailbone towards the earth. Inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones. Breathe. And then you can send your arms back if that feels good. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another and lift the arms overhead if that feels good. Keep the spine long, lengthen, breathe, knees shining forward. And on an inhalation, lift. And as you exhale, hands to Anjali Mudra. Take a couple of breaths here, just feeling into the inner space of your body, the inner space of your being. And then releasing your hands, let's practice a couple of standing poses. And let's have Trikonasana be one of them. So you might like to bring a block. Maybe let's place another block along the long edge, which will now be the front of your mat. So taking a nice wide stance. We'll start with Virabhadrasana 2. Wonderful pose that is good for everything, every part of ourselves. Take a wide stance and then turn your right foot to parallel the long edge of your mat and take a little look. Make sure that your arch and your heel line up. The heel of your right foot, the arch of your left foot. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs and ground into your feet. Feel substantial and sturdy or secure or stable. Take a breath in and send your arms out to either side. Reach out through the fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee. Press through the outer edge of your left foot. And if you feel yourself reaching forward over your knee, then take your hands to your hips and notice where the hip points are. And maybe you organize them so they're in the same plane. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another and then send the arms back out. Take a look at your knee. And if you can see just your big toe, then you know you have it planted right. Lift the back ankle, the inner ankle. Inhale, turn your palms towards the sky and hug your shoulder blades down towards your hips. Take a breath in and let's take reverse warrior, letting your arm travel down the back leg. Couple breaths here. On your next breath in, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lengthen the front leg and lower your arms. Feel your spine, your shoulder blades, your hips. Organize them into alignment, and then firming the muscles to the bones on the legs. Take your arms out again to either side. Inhale, and as you exhale, send your hips, your tailbone back towards your left heel, hinging at the front hip, at your right hip. Reach, reach, reach. Keep reaching out long across the room, and then lower your right hand to the block or your leg, or maybe the mat. And then revolve your ribs around your spine so they face the long edge of your mat. Do your best to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. Enjoy your breath. Feel the length along the side bodies. Draw the belly in. Press into all four corners, especially of your right foot, to come out. Hug the muscles to the bones and the legs and lift back up. Good. Bend your front knee and pivot that foot around. If you're using a block, set it behind your left foot. Whoa. Sit up nice and tall, or stand up, nice and tall. And lift through the crown of your head. Send your tailbone towards the earth. And again, make sure you're firming into your feet. Turn your left foot to parallel this time. And again, check that your heel is in alignment with your back arch. Take a breath in and send the arms out to either side. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another as you lift your heart. Inhale again, lengthen, and exhale. Bend your left knee right over your ankle foot. Same thing on this side. If you feel yourself leaning over your front knee, then take your hands to your hips and notice where your hip points are. Bring them into the same plane, and then take your arms out to either side. Lift your heart, spread wide through your collarbones, and press into the outer edge of your right foot, lifting the inner ankle. Turn your palms to the sky. Inhale, exhale, come into reverse warrior. Extend long through those upper fingertips. Keep hugging the muscles to the bones and the legs, drawing them towards one another isometrically. Inhale. Exhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Lift your heart, tuck that left hip under. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen the leg. Lower your arms. Notice your spine, notice your hips, your tailbone, your heart, your shoulder blades. Organize them into alignment. And then hugging the muscles to the bones and the legs. Send your arms out to either side. And then hinging at your left hip, send your tailbone towards your back heel. Reaching towards the other side of the room. And then lowering down. to whatever place your hand feels best. Revolving your ribs around the spine to face the long edge of your mat. And lowering your shoulders away from the ears. Tuck your left hip under. Firm the muscles to the bones in your legs. And pressing into the four corners of both feet, especially your left. Take a breath in and lift back up. Good. Turn your left foot forward. And let's take a wide angle forward fold. Take a deep breath, lengthen the spine, tailbone towards the earth, shoulder blades hugging back towards one another. And as you exhale, take your hands to your hips and fold forward, hinging at the hip. Lower down until you're parallel to the earth. And if it feels good, you can bring your hands to either the mat or your block. And continue to breathe. See if you can lower down just a little bit more if it feels good in your body. And if it does feel good in your body, you can send your heels farther out than your toes. And just come down as far as it feels appropriate. Letting your spine have a little grace from gravity. And a few more breaths here. And we'll take the hands over to the right foot, bending into the right knee. Hug the muscles to the bones in your extended leg. Breathe here. And then changing sides, walk your hands over to your left foot, bending the left knee and hugging the muscles to the bones. Breathe. Take it again to the other side. Walk your hands back to the right. Protect your ligaments by hugging the muscles to the bones in your extended leg. And then back to the other side. And then please back to the middle. And finding your block, if that's best for you, draw yourself up so you're paralleling the earth. Bring your hands to your hips. Hug the muscles to the bones in your legs. And on an inhalation, lift up. And then heel toe until you can step into Tadasana. And you can come back to the front of your mat. And take a few breaths here again. Noticing, sensing, and feeling what is going on right now. The sensations, the vibrations. And now let's come to a seat on our mat. Bring a blanket, please, and a strap and a block. We'll sit on the blanket. unstrap the block for Dandasana. I've been leaving this out a little bit because we do it so much. I didn't want you to get bored. I love this pose. As you know, I've mentioned it. It's so beneficial, at least in my body it is. And it feels so vital as part of my practice in my body. It helps me with my core. It helps me with my lower back. It helps me with my shoulders and my hips. So as you sit here, bring energy to the soles of your feet, pressing the big toe pad into the block as though you were standing on your mat. Send the toes energetically to the sky. And as you do, you might feel your belly draw in because you're activating your core right at the big toe pad where your deep front line begins. The deep front line of fascia, your connective tissue that runs all the way up to the top of your eyebrows. This is not imaginary. It's been seen by scientists who work in the field of fascia. Draw the belly in and inner rotate the head of the thigh bones. Lengthen the spine. And you can close your eyes here and really feel into the inner body. Feel your muscles, your bones, the energy in your body. Relax your shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another and lift the heart. Feel the expansive quality through your pectorals. Grow the side bodies long. Draw the belly in. Sit up a little taller. Stay with your breath. Soften your jaw. Draw the ears back towards the wall behind you. And we'll stay here for 3 more breaths. Keep that inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones. And on your next inhalation, grow just a little bit taller. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips and just begin to come forward. Keep your spine long. So your spine is one long line. The only place you're moving is right at the hinge of your hips. So if you were to come up, nothing would change. The orientation of your head and neck, every vertebra would remain just where it was when you were sitting up. And if you want to sit up and notice if that's true for you, go ahead and then take a breath in, lengthen, draw the belly in and hinge once again, come forward. Let your gaze follow the trajectory of your spine and your head. Stay with your breath as you inner rotate. Maybe you walk your hands along your strap. Keep drawing the shoulder blades towards one another and expanding through the collarbones, pressing all 4 corners of your feet best you can into the block. Breathe. Nice, long, deep breaths in and out. Enjoy the length in your spine. Perhaps you deepen more and more into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Feel the space through the sacrum. As you inner rotate through the head of the thigh bones, your pelvis widens and there's more space for those lower vertebrae and the sacrum to spread out. More spaciousness in the hips. Draw the belly in. Breathe into the ribs circumferentially. Feel that entire expansive quality as you breathe in the ribs. 2 more breaths here. Stay active. Good. And then on an inhalation, slowly rise up, staying nice and tall and long. Draw the belly in. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another. And then release your strap, release the block. Take a couple more breaths right here. Notice your core. And then you can release the legs and give them a little shake. And let's come onto our backs. As you lengthen down onto your back, place your feet on the mat. Draw your shoulder blades under you. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart. Lengthen the back of your neck. And take a few moments to arrive here. You can lift your lower back and lengthen through the tailbone. And then set your hips back down on the mat. Keeping your tailbone long and drawn down towards the earth. Draw one knee at a time in towards your chest. Letting your hands and, arms rest on your shins or knees. Allow those thigh bones to make their way down organically. Keep your feet dorsiflexed and active. And once your knees have made their way down, rotate them. Placing your hands on your knees. Send the knees around and around. Going both directions. Perfect. Coming back to Apanasana. Take another breath in as you hug the knees just a little tiny bit more. And from here, we're going to take a breath in and hugging just the right knee, lower your left foot to the mat. You can stay right here or extend that leg all the way out. So if you have issues in your groins, I would recommend leaving your left foot on the mat with your knee bent just as much as it feels good, wherever that may be, a little longer or closer in, whatever feels best in your body. Otherwise, lengthening out through the sole of your left foot is a wonderful way to tend towards lower back issues, lengthening the psoas, that deep, deep muscle that runs from the thigh all the way up through the inner pelvis and up the ribs, up the spine to the base of the ribs. Take a couple more breaths here. Relax your shoulders. Relax your face. Take a breath in and lower your foot to the mat. Bring the other foot up to join it. Lengthen the back of your neck and lift your hips again to lengthen the lower back. Next breath in, draw your left knee in, and you can leave your right foot on the mat, your choice, or lengthen that leg all the way out. Pressing out through the soles of both feet, especially the big toe pads, drawing those baby toes towards their shoulders. Breathe in and out. Allow those deep fibers to warm up and lengthen. Soften your shoulders, let them rest down towards the earth. Soften your jaw, even rotate your head from side to side, very gently, unwinding any tension that you might be holding. Softening your face and your jaw. Noticing what might be different on this side than the other side with no judgments, just noticing. Another breath in. And as you exhale, lower your left foot to the mat and bring your right foot back to join it. And then please take your arms out to either side. Draw the shoulder blades under you so your arms are in a T. And then widen the stance of your feet on your mat to the outside edges of your mat, please. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, send your knees to the right and your head towards the left. Taking slow, deep breaths, bring your knees and head back to center. And as you exhale, send the knees to the left, the head to the right. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, go the other way. If you'd like to add on, as you turn to the right, turn your head to the right, knees to the left, bring your right thumb to the mat with your pinky up, and then bring your left thumb inwardly rotating with your pinky up. So your left arm is externally rotated and your right arm is internally rotated. And then inhale back up, turn the arms, the head, and the knees the other way. Inhaling back to center and exhaling the other direction. A couple more of these. Flowing with your breath cycle. And after you've completed this last breath cycle, please come back to center and take a few breaths right where you are. And then walk your heel toe, your feet back to hip width distance apart. And once you've arrived here, bring your feet a little closer to your hips. Big toe, second toes facing forward, press into all four corners of both feet. And on an inhalation, lift your hips to the right. Take another breath in to lift your legs up off the mat and twist, bringing your knees to the left and your head to the right. And a couple more breaths here. Lifting your right hip towards your knees. Doing the best you can to keep your shoulder blades on the mat. With a soft jaw. Soft face. Deep breaths in and out. On your next breath in, lift your knees and legs. Come back onto your back. Sit your feet on the mat and lift your hips back to center. Take another breath cycle here. And on your next inhalation, pressing into all four corners of both feet, lift your hips to the left. Next inhalation, lift your feet up off the mat and send your knees to the right, lifting your hips, your left hip towards your knees, doing your best to keep both shoulder blades on the mat. And if it feels good in your body, you can look over towards your left fingertips. Relax your shoulders, your face, and your neck. Breathe into sensations. On your next inhalation, lift your legs back up. Come onto your back, lower your feet to the mat, and lift your hips back to center. Keeping your tailbone towards the earth, draw your knees back in. Hug your knees, flex your feet, release your shoulders towards the earth. Lengthen the skin along the back of your neck. If you feel your lower back arching up, draw it down towards the earth. Take another breath here. And on your exhalation, lengthen your legs into Savasana. Take your legs a little bit wider. Open your palms towards the sky. Draw your shoulder blades under you. Take a deep breath in. And let it go all the way down and out the soles of your feet. And breathe into the space between your legs. And let that breath go. Now breathe into the space between your arms and your torso. And let that breath go. Breathe into the space now between your ears and your shoulders. And let that go too. And now I invite you to visualize a beautiful red glowing orb right at the base of your spine, your root chakra. Glowing red around the size of a grapefruit. Glowing and pulsating with vitality. Envision this beautiful red glowing orb. Now, please, keeping that, visualize along with it a beautiful golden orange orb between your pubic bone and your belly button. Size of a grapefruit, glowing beautifully and brightly. Beautiful orange, glowing orb of light and energy. Your second chakra. And now between your belly button and your ribs, please visualize a golden yellow glowing orb the size of a grapefruit. Solar plexus, third chakra. Glowing brightly, a golden yellow. And then right at the space of your heart, a beautiful green, glowing orb of light, size of a grapefruit. Your heart chakra, your fourth chakra. Glowing brightly with vitality, life energy. And then right at the space of your throat, include a turquoise colored orb the same size, just like a grapefruit, glowing with beautiful turquoise color, vibrant, full of life energy. Your fifth chakra, your throat chakra. Including now a beautiful glowing indigo colored orb at your third eye, right in between your eyebrows. Grapefruit sized, indigo colored, beautiful glowing orb of light. Your sixth chakra. Wisdom, awareness. And then visualizing at the crown of your head, right above the top of your head, a beautiful lavender purplish white glowing orb of light, your crown chakra, your seventh chakra, the seat of total consciousness and awareness. And seeing all these energetic points of light along your body from your tailbone, your root chakra, all the way up. Red, orange, golden yellow, green, turquoise, indigo, and beautiful white lavender light at the crown of your head. And now noticing and sensing and feeling your breath. As it flows in and out, lifting your chest and belly with each inhalation. And releasing the breath as you exhale. Please begin to bring awareness to your fingertips and your toe tips. Bringing some movement to those. Rotate wrists and ankles slowly and in both directions, taking it easy as you move. And then taking a nice deep breath, you can extend your arms overhead and point your toes. And let it go. Maybe another one like that. Feeling the body energized, full of breath and vitality. And on your next breath in, please roll to your right side. Take a few breaths here. And then using your hands and your arms, please press up. And come to your seat once again on your mat. Interesting.